Hello friends, welcome to Win Gravity, and today we are going to talk about the class 8 physics chapter of sound. So in this chapter we would be covering the syllabus of CBSE and we will also be covering the syllabus of National Science Olympiad. So we would be also covering a little bit of the basics of the 9th standard chapter of sound. So in this part 1 video, we would be covering the topics of transverse waves, longitudinal waves, amplitude, frequency, wavelength, and what is sound and how it propagates. So let's start learning about them. So we know that sound is really useful in our day-to-day life. We use the help of sound in each and every instant, in each and every moment, isn't it? So if we want to ask doubts to a teacher, we use sound. If we want to talk to somebody, we use sound. If we want to call somebody, we use sound. So right now you are learning the chapter of sound through the help of sound. And at the same time, sound forms a basis of many modern technologies. For example, ultrasound scanning. So sound is really useful in our day-to-day life. So what is sound then? So sound, if you see, sound is a form of energy. It is a form of energy that travels as a wave. Okay, it travels as a wave. So sound is a form of energy that travels as a wave. So when this word wave comes into our mind, the first thing that comes into my mind are the waves of ocean, isn't it? So when we go to a seashore or when we go to a beach, we see the waves of ocean are incoming and they will crash into the seashore. So this ocean waves are a type of waves called transverse wave. So we will talk about this later. Sound is also like that. Okay, so sound is also a wave. So this is the real depiction of those sound waves. Okay, so if sound is a wave, it is a wave of what? Okay, so what does that sound wave consist of? What does that sound wave involves? What does it involve? So if you see, the sound waves involves the vibration of the molecules. The sound wave consists of the vibration of molecules. So if you see here the real depiction of the sound wave, you see here these tiny little dots are the molecules. So this is just zoomed over here. Okay, so let's consider this picture. So if you see, okay, let's consider this molecule. Okay, so this molecule is actually vibrating. Okay, so vibration means what? It is a rapid back and forth movement. When it vibrates, it hits another molecule and it transfers that vibration. Okay, so that molecule begins vibrating and that molecule will hit another molecule. Okay, so this will just, continue like a chain. Okay, so this is what is the sound wave. So now let's look at an animation to clear our picture of what really is sound. So now we have seen the animation and now we have gotten a clear picture of what is sound. So now let's move to the next point. So sound can be only produced when a body vibrates. So in the animation we saw that the air molecules only started vibrating when the object vibrated. So if you hit a drum and if you touch the membrane, after hitting it, you can see that that membrane vibrates, that skin vibrates. So what is the membrane of the drum? So if this is the drum, if I hit it here, okay, so this is the membrane. Okay, this is the membrane part of the drum. So we will see that the membrane vibrates to produce the sound. So sound can be only produced when a body vibrates. So now let's look at the two types of waves, and that is longitudinal and transverse waves. Longitudinal and transverse waves. Okay, so first let's look at what are longitudinal waves. So if you look at this one, you would actually easily guess that this is none other than the sound wave, isn't it? So sound wave is an example of longitudinal waves. So what are the characteristics of a longitudinal wave? Sound is a longitudinal wave. So in this sound wave, what is the direction of motion of this whole wave? We know that it is oriented towards this direction, or either in this direction. So let's assume that this sound wave is moving towards this direction. So we know that the molecules are vibrating and that creates a wave, isn't it? So what is the direction of that vibration? So if I have a molecule here, okay, so which is participating in this wave transmission, what it does, it comes forward and it goes backward. So that is that vibration of that molecule, isn't it? So it comes forward and it goes backward. So it either vibrates in the front or back. So this is the motion, this is the direction of motion of the whole wave, and the direction of vibration is either towards this direction or towards this direction. The another thing that we can notice here is that these two directions are parallel to this direction, isn't it? So if you look at this direction and this direction, they are parallel, isn't it? So if I look at this direction and this direction, even though they are opposite, they are parallel, isn't it? So in a longitudinal wave, the direction of the particle's vibration is parallel, okay, it is parallel to the direction of motion of the whole wave, okay. So that is the characteristic of longitudinal waves. So that is the longitudinal waves. Such waves are called longitudinal waves. So the wave of a slinky, so what is a slinky? So it is a large and long spring. So when we push and vibrate this string, it produces a longitudinal wave. So the wave of a slinky in this manner is a longitudinal wave. So now let's look at transverse waves. Okay, so here it is. So in the earlier part I said that ocean waves are transverse waves. So what is a transverse wave? So if you see in a longitudinal wave, the whole wave moves in a particular direction, and the direction of vibration of the particles is parallel to it. It is parallel to the direction of motion of the whole wave. But here it is different. So if we see this ocean wave, okay, so it is direction of motion, let's assume that it is towards this direction. Okay, so let's assume that, let's say that this wave is moving like this. Okay, so this is the direction of the whole wave. But in an ocean wave or in a normal transverse wave, the particles are moving up and down. That is, they are moving up and down. Whereas in a longitudinal wave, it is like this, back and forth. Okay, but here it is up and down. So let's draw that direction. Okay, so it is up and down. So this is the direction of the vibration of the particles, and this is the direction of the motion of the whole wave. So what you can see, this angle formed between those two is 90 degrees, isn't it? So the direction of the vibration in transverse waves is exactly perpendicular to the direction of motion of the whole wave. Okay, so that is what is a transverse wave. Okay, so transverse wave will be often like in this manner. Okay, so this is a transverse wave and this is a longitudinal wave. So let's move on to the next topic, and that is amplitude, frequency and wavelength. So let's start learning about this. So first of all, you would always see these transverse waves in the depiction of the sound waves in our textbooks. Okay, this real sound wave is converted into this transverse wave, so that it is easier for us to study, wavelength, amplitude, frequency and everything. Okay, so it is really easier for us. Okay, so that is why it is depicted in this wave. But the real sound wave is a longitudinal wave. So we know that we can differentiate sounds, two different sounds or n number of sounds, in terms of loudness. How loud it is? So a loudness of a sound depends on the quantity amplitude. So amplitude is none other than the distance of this. Okay, so you see this black line. So this is what is amplitude. It is the maximum distance from this normal position. Okay, from this normal position, which is the maximum distance, this. Okay, so this is what is amplitude. So the larger the amplitude, the larger the loudness. So if I have a sound like this, okay, so a sound wave like this and a sound wave like this one, which is louder, this one is in fact louder because the amplitude is larger. Okay, the amplitude is larger, and that is the reason why this sound will be what? Louder. So that is what is amplitude. So what is wavelength now? Wavelength, if you see, is this distance. Before studying about wavelength, we need to know about a thing, and that is compressions, and rarefactions. So let's come back to this picture. Okay, so if you see in this particular area, okay, so in this particular area, you can see that there is high density. Density means how much dense the particles are, how much dense the molecules are packed together. So there is a large amount of molecules here. Okay, so they are compressed. So that is the reason why we call those areas as compressions. Okay, so in these areas, in these other areas, the air is in normal condition. It is not in a very high density. Okay, so such area is called rarefactions. Okay, so this compression is also called the crest, and the rarefaction is also called the trough. Okay, the compression is none other than this peak, isn't it? And the rarefaction is none other than this one. So compression can be also called as crest, isn't it? So let me represent this as one crest. Okay, so let me write it as crest, and this is another crest, isn't it? So this is a rarefaction, isn't it? So let me write it as a trough. Okay, so trough is also called a rarefaction. Okay, so the distance between two consecutive crests is known as wavelength. Okay, so this distance which is marked in pink color is none other than our wavelength. So wavelength is actually represented by the Greek letter lambda. Okay, so this is what is wavelength. Always in equations or wherever it is, they will only represent wavelength in this letter. This is a Greek letter and this is called lambda, Greek letter lambda. Okay, so this is what is wavelength. So now let's clear our last concept, and that is frequency. What is frequency? In our normal English language, we use the word frequent. That means many times, isn't it? So frequency means how much times, isn't it? We also use the same word in mathematics, in data, in statistics, isn't it? So frequency is nothing but how much a thing is happening again and again. So that is what is frequency. So here we are calculating frequency for what quantity? So let's talk about that now. So frequency means, so for example, if I keep a detector here which detects if a crest comes in. Okay, so if a crest comes in, it will detect. So such a detector will be placed in this particular location. Okay, so let's say that kind of situation is prevailing. So how much crests are passing through this detector in 1 second, and that is the frequency of this whole wave. If for example, if 6 crests pass in 3 seconds, what is the frequency? The frequency would be nothing but 6 divided by 3 seconds, and that is none other than 2 crests per second. Okay, that is the frequency. Now frequency is often measured in the quantity hertz. So what is our result? That is 2 crests per second is the frequency. So now we have to convert it into hertz. So 1 hertz is nothing but 1 crest per second. Okay, per second. So per second 1 crest is passing through. So now let's convert it. So 2 into 1 crest per second, and that is none other than 2 Hertz. So 2 Hertz is the frequency. So now we have talked about the topics. So thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel Win Gravity and stay tuned for more videos.